Welcome to Agentic Engineering Masterclass episode 4. So what we're going to do in this project is create a new website. We're going to say website, scaffolding. You can call this anything. We can call it dream website if we like. It's going to be in our working directory with a memory file that is unified as mentioned. We're going to start with Cloud Code as we usually do. Let Cloud Code open up, and like we did in episode 1, 2, and 3, we're going to install project memory. Again, this defaults to the instantiation file. We're going to click install, enter. Again, we're going to bring our agent up to speed with what we're doing here, which is basically starting a new project, and we want to keep the memory file unified here at Dream Website MD, which is our README file. Now let's create a website with 3 buttons, each of which opens a GIF on click of a cat. We're going to press enter here, and we're going to one-shot this. Now, you have the option to one-shot here, which is pure edit mode. If you listen to videos by, educators like Peter Steinberger, he usually goes with this option. He doesn't use plan mode a bunch. But if you do click shift tab, you can go into plan mode. If it's something more elaborate, you can talk through a plan, agree on different options, this and that. For the sake of this video, we're going to go into edit mode immediately, and we're going to start with a simple website, which you can see it's making a directory on my user profile called Dream Website. It's thinking further about the plan, which I've asked for a website with 3 buttons, each of which opens a GIF and on click shows a cat. So we're going to let this load. Now, the only difference between this and doing plan mode is that plan mode would think a little bit further about the steps. It would ask you some questions back and forth, clarify a couple things here and there. Now, one or the other, both work, but usually you'll find this paradigm in both Cloud Code, in Codex, CLI, and other open source agents out there. It is slowly becoming a best practice pattern that is found throughout the industry. So it's writing this HTML file right now to Dream Website /index.html. Index.html is just a website file that will show up in the browser when it's opened. So now we have an autocomplete option. We click tab to kick it in. Let's open it in the browser. And what it should do here is bash, open it up. And you can see here we have to pick a cat. We can click a typing cat. We can click a box cat. And we can click a cute cat. And this is very cool. And again, you see how fast and easy that was. That's part of the amazing nature of prompt engineering and of agentic engineering. So what we're going to do here is save to project memory, as we do. And now I'm going to show coming back in on a second session to add a feature to this website. So let's save this here to project memory. It's going to read the file. It's going to add current project context, key decisions, conventions, and important details to the memory file. Here at our unified memory file path, you can see here that it wrote out the different types of logic that it let in, the key UI behavior, the file structure, the decisions made, etc. And now we're good. So now let's say we wanted to open up a new project, and we wanted to treat this as a website feature for cat GIFs site. You can call it whatever you'd like, but you can kind of use these projects as branches, just like you would in Git. So you add the feature, open up Cloud Code here. Now we're in a new session. Yes, I trust this folder. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to install project memory, right? But now instead of installing from the website feature for cats.md, remember that in our previous project we called this Dream Website, right? So we're going to install from dreamwebsite.md. Now what this is going to do, it's going to read from that file that we used for the Dream Website project, instantiate it into this Cloud Code session, which is in the project named feature for the website. And you can see here that it has our single file HTML with 3 cat GIF buttons, the typing cat, the box cat, the cute cat, etc. And what we're going to do is we're going to add an additional button for a 4th cat that is an orange cat that looks like Garfield, that appears on click. I am a huge fan of Garfield. So basically, we put this in, and you can see here that it's reading this file. It's going to find a good Garfield-like orange cat GIF. It's going to search the web for Giphy to find Garfield orange cat GIFs. It's going to search media.giphy.com. Did the search in 6 seconds here. Now it's going to pull that in, found a GIF. Now it's going to add the fourth button with an orange theme. You can see here that it added a tangerine CSS option, had a fourth CSS selector and a class for the styling of the button. It added the button HTML. You can see here that it added in the path to the new GIF that it found from the web search. And it's loading. Now let's also update the project memory file to reflect the fourth cat. It's going to do so right now. Now it's writing to the README file on disk for this website. And we can see here, great. Now let's reopen up index.html and let's see if it got it right. So you can see here, there's 3 buttons as we had them. Now the fourth button, Garfield. Let's click it and we can see Garfield. Beautiful. Now we're going to save the project memory now. Now again, remember that if we're saving from a feature, we have to save back to our original project or our root project in order for this to align properly. So we're going to click enter here, and we're going to save back to the Dream website README file, update it with everything relevant from this session, project context, key decisions, conventions, and important details. And we're going to let this load. You can see here, it's going to use some fun action verbs. We're going to wait a little longer. And what this is doing is basically, without overwriting the whole file, it's adding in additional information. So you can see here, it didn't just remove all this information, it actually added new information. It added to the file, appending to the file. You can see the memory file is updated with key additions. Now, if we go back to our Dream website, we can see here that if we go into install project memory, we can preview. Now, what happened here is we were created at this timestamp. We can come down here and you can see that tangerine was added. Now, again, this was not added in this session. This was added in the feature session, as we saw. You can see here that it has Garfield. And again, we did not add Garfield in this project session. We added it in the feature that then referenced this project. So we're using this as like a branch, but we added it back to project memory. So now we can say, can you reopen the site for our review? Now, the last time we opened the site, remember we have 3 buttons, right? But because we're using a unified project memory and we wrote back to that memory file on disk, you can see here that we have the 4 buttons again. We can see Garfield and everything is good. Thanks for tuning in. See you in episode 5.